Now, moving to the UK can be an exciting experience, right? It takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of finances and resources and effort. It costs a lot emotionally, mentally, psychologically, even spiritually, right? So, coming to the UK and making mistakes that are avoidable is just heartbreaking. In this video, I'll be talking about common pitfalls that immigrants make in the UK, how to avoid those pitfalls, and just give yourself the very best chance and opportunity to succeed and thrive in the UK. Let's just get into these videos. My name's Faith. Welcome to Life Faith Aminaho. In my channel or on my channel, we share real life advice, free guides, and tips on how to live and thrive in the UK. Please subscribe, share our videos, and comment on our videos as well to enable you to recommend it to more people. We're a new and growing channel, and we're passionate about reaching the immigrants in the UK. Now, the first common mistake that is very repetitive that you see over and over and over again and leads to very heartbreaking and devastating ends for some is overworking, right? Overworking. I feel like on this subject, you have to be intentional about what your coming to the UK is for. I understand that for some people, right, they are under a lot of pressure to succeed, right? But there is no excuse for putting yourself at risk, for putting your family at risk, for putting your children at risk. There are stories of people that couldn't get, sitters, for example, couldn't afford childcare to go to work, and they'll leave their children unattended and go to work. And there's one whose story was very heartbreaking. The child died when the mom picked up extra shifts, like 2 or 3, just a few months postpartum, and it was very heartbreaking, right? Overworking can shorten your lifespan, can even reduce your income. The more you work in the UK, the more tax you pay. If you see how much of the money you pay of your working is going to the government, sometimes you would realize that there's no need to rush. It's not a competition. You don't have to buy your house in the first year of moving to the UK. You don't have to buy a new car. You don't have to start using the latest iPhone. You don't have to overwork, guys. There are real detrimental effects that this has on you that you sometimes can take. For example, there are people that do night shifts every single day, 7 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week for years. Research has shown how much night shifts deplete your life. I did night shifts for a while, and it was just 2 months, and I know what I went through. I know how many times I went to the hospital because I'm not used to it. It's not it doesn't work with your system. It doesn't work. Overworking is absolutely a no for me. I understand that you can be under pressure, right, to succeed, but if your life is not intact, if you're not alive, all of that pressure would mean absolutely nothing. If you feel you have financial commitments that you've got to meet up with, if anything happens to you, if you're not able to work, the world will forget about it in the next couple of months and days, and life will go on, and that will just be the end of your journey. I'm starting this on a very grim note just because of how I feel about this particular subject. Overworking is very detrimental, especially if you're a new immigrant. Take your time, plan, be intentional. A man with a plan would outlive and out-earn a hardworking man. It doesn't take hard work alone to succeed. It takes wisdom. You have to sit down. How much do you have? How much do you earn? How much can you invest? How much can you save? Even if it's £100 you can save, £300 you can save a month. That is all right and good. It's not a competition. That's the story. That's the cocoa of the matter. Guys, please stop overworking. Stop overworking. It shortens your life. It's detrimental to you, your family. Some people would be in the UK. Some people in the UK, families are going months on end, days on end without speaking to themselves. Spouses are going months and weeks without. You will not believe how long some people go because the mom's working day shifts, the dad's working night shifts, or the dad's working during the day in a company, the mom is working somewhere at night, because they are overworking and nobody has enough time to stay with the children, and they don't even have enough time to stay together as themselves. Once in a while, if you've got, if situation demands, yes, it can be excused, but not for you to make it your life, not for you to do that 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It is not. It's not it, guys. It's not it. Something else people look in on this subject of overworking is people don't even look at the restrictions. People don't respect the restrictions on their visa, and this can have detrimental effects for you. Think about the time, the energy, the effort that you put in to make this huge transition, to make this huge relocation. Relocating takes guts, takes courage, takes finances, takes, I don't want to say headache, right? You've got to be intentional and position yourself absolutely the best. Give yourself the very best opportunity you have to succeed. So when you come to the UK, look very well at the restrictions of your visa. We have said this over and over again. If you're a student, please don't work more than 20 hours. If you're on a skilled worker visa, please don't go and open your own business. If you're saying to the you're at work, you're taking annual leave, for example, please don't go and be picking up and be doing extra jobs while on annual leave. Some companies classify that as fraud. I've seen people that have been called, to disciplinary councils because of this particular matter. Guidance, policies, different things have been put in place. Please check, please read, please know what the right things to do are, and stop and don't cut corners. They will come back and bite you in the butt. They're just not worth it, guys. They're not worth it. The second mistake a lot of people make in the UK when they come to the UK, especially as immigrants, is trusting the wrong people, trusting the wrong agents, the wrong landlords, the wrong advisors, things like that. I am an advocate for doing your own research. For example, something on this housing, for example, is when you're coming to the UK, for example, and you want to rent a house, you have to pay deposits. Now, some people don't know that deposit is protected, so you're not supposed to pay it to the landlord or to the agency or whatever. You're supposed to pay it to the government. If you're paying it to the agency pays it to the government. It's protected, so you can get your deposit back at the end. For the landlord to say, I'm not giving your deposit back at the end, the landlord has got to prove why. And it's something that you can contest. It's something that both of you have to agree to, and it's something that you can contest. And contesting it is free. I have contested and gotten mine back just because the reason why they were saying, you can't get your deposit back was not legal. And some people know what is legal and what's not. Some people know what your rights are as an immigrant in the UK. But if they find out, or they look at you and feel like you don't know your rights, they will take advantage of you and they will just march you right down into the floor. So please don't trust anybody. Don't even trust me. Whatever I say, please go back. Look at the websites. Look at the government website. I try to ensure that the websites that we put up are verified government websites. Look at the website. Make sure that they're authentic. Read the information for yourself. When you put these informations on the screen, go back after now and look at it for yourself and read and be sure that you understand. If you don't understand, you can ask for free help. We have put that a lot here on our channel, how to get free help. You can get free guidance. It's also as simple as going on Google. Don't fall into the trap of dodgy landlords. Don't fall into the trap of dodgy recruitment agents. Don't fall into the trap of these people that promise, I will help you do this, or do this fast, or this is done like this, don't worry, I'll help you do it in a faster, shorter, easier, quicker way, in 2 days, 3 days, and you don't have to pay so much, and then you end up giving them your money. Do your research. Be diligent. You have come this far. This is an investment. Somebody that wants to build a house would sit down and plan and count how much it takes him to build a house. You don't just go to build a house and just start building a house. That's not a wise builder. That's a foolish builder, right? The wise builder will count his cost and look at the materials that he needs, and look at how good the environment is, the land is, and look at the community. Is this conducive for me? Is this conducive for my family? Is this conducive for my children? You have to make all of that inquiry. You have to take every single thing into account and then make your decision on what you want to do. That is the right way to go about the things that you have to do in the UK. And that's the good thing. If it's housing, for example, there are too many stories of people that have been scammed by dodgy landlords. There are verifications online, there are reviews online. Go online and check these agencies. No matter how good, sometimes, right? They say they've said this to us for ages, and the more I grow up, right? Because I'm still growing. The more I grow up, the more I realize that most of these things they told us are true. If something sounds too good to be true, guys, it usually is. So if you need to go through renting a house is going to take you 3 months, for example, because the UK process can actually take time. It takes time for you to do anything. For you to get a job, it takes time. And someone promises to get you a house in 2 weeks or 2 months. To me, there's a comma. Why? You have to do your due diligence. Once in a while, you can find really good, really nice people like that, but be skeptical. Be the cynical person. Be me. Be like me that want to know why. I want to question everything. I want to find out everything. I want to know everything. And if after all your research you still make mistakes, well, you can maybe forgive yourself. You can seek for help. You can speak to the government, and they will see you took all the right steps. You did everything right? They will know how to help you. But if you're already from day one started making mistakes, how are we supposed to help you? How is anybody supposed to help you when from the very first step that you took the wrong step? So please verify your information. Don't trust everything everybody tells you. It doesn't matter if the person has been here 100 years, 30 years, 40 years. It doesn't matter. The landscape, like we've said over and over, is changing. Rules change. Things change. When you're told something, it doesn't take 10 minutes, 5 minutes to search. Search on Google. If you use artificial intelligence, ask artificial intelligence. It will look up articles for you. Go and check back those articles. Don't take his answer at face value as well. Go and check, do your research, and then make informed decisions. That's the second mistake. Very, very important. It can save you thousands of pounds and months and years of regrets. Another mistake people make is ignoring your financial history. Very, very important. So we covered this as well when we're talking about how to build your credit score. So a lot of people don't know how important building your credit score is, and how important your financial history is. A healthy financial history, what it can do for you, right? What it can give you access to as well. The rate at which you get interest for different things, from the phones that people buy on credit to even the kind of house that you want to get. I've seen cases where people have applied for houses. So when you're applying for a house, right? Because everything in the UK is application. When you're applying for a house, when you're going to view houses and applying, most times you're applying with other people. Your financial history, like your credit score, is part of what they will look at. If your credit score is bad, it shows that you have a bad history of paying your dues or your utilities, paying for your utilities and things like that. Very, very important. Your financial history can determine the rate at which you pay for a house, for example. The rate at which you pay your mortgage, for example, it affects it. So ignoring your financial history and credit building is, to me, a very huge mistake that people make. When people come to the UK, if you're coming from the part of the world that I come from, we don't rely on credit a lot. A lot of people even have a negative impression of credit. So I know people from where I'm from that will refuse to get credit cards because they don't want to borrow. But in the UK, you've got to build a credit system. They need to see the consistency in you paying, borrowing and paying, you being reliable, right? For you to access basically everything or anything. There are people that come to the UK, I can get a credit card, they get credit cards, and then they overspend on that credit card, and they see their credit score plummet. There's some people that will have SIM contracts and don't know the implications of having that SIM contract. You don't know that when you have a SIM contract, you cannot just break the contract. If you break the contract, it's a huge problem for you, for your credit score. And deficits of non-payments on any financial agreements that you make. That agreement of, okay, I'll buy data for 1 year or for 2 years. I'm going into a contract with O2 or with whatever network for 2 years to pay £4 a month for the next 2 years for so amount of data. The day you default, that is you reneging on that contract. So please, please and please, don't forget building your credit score is so important. When coming to the UK, it's very, very easy for you that's coming with no history to rectify or to get yourself on the right plane, right? To building your credit score and building credit system for yourself, and start planning your financial future. It's very easy. But if you start making mistakes, it can take you years and sometimes 6 years, 7 years to get some records before some records would no longer show up on your file, on your credit file as an immigrant. If you have an agreement with the university, for example, to pay your school fees for school fees repayment, it's very important you're able to pay that. If you take a loan, if you have overdraft on your account, for example, it's very important for you to be able to pay that. Some credit companies will even take into account how you pay for your Netflix, things like Netflix and things like that. They will even take that into consideration to build your credit score. I know Experian does that. If you connect your account, you look at all the direct debits that you have, and it would either positively impact or negatively impact your credit score. So very important, guys. Next one is not registering for a GP early. Now, nobody wants or nobody sits down and wishes to be ill, but sometimes you will be ill. Sometimes it's better you have a GP and not need it than for you to need a GP and not have it. For you to access medical care in the UK, you've got to be registered with a GP. That's one of the first things to do once you get into the UK. Please register with a GP. It can save you a lot of stress and it's absolutely free. You don't have to pay any money. If you come in as an immigrant, the chances are you've paid it in your IHS surcharge payment. So no, if you're here, you don't have to pay. Register for a GP, very important. The next one, mistake that I have also seen that I also made initially when I came to the UK is isolating yourself. When you come into the UK, a lot of us just want to keep our head down. But here, information is power, and networking is super important, because the people you meet, can either make or mar your success or how much you thrive in the UK. The information that you get from whoever you're related, from whoever you speak to, can be the deciding factor in you getting that grade that you want, or that job that you want, or you getting the promotion that you want, or you just solving the problem. So don't isolate yourself. Community works. You've got to find a community. There's a community that looks like you. There's a community of maybe the same religion, maybe a church family or something. You've got to look for community. If it's a community of mothers, and I know a lot of cities in the UK have this. They have this also where I am. Community of women where they share information about your children, how to sort things like childcare. There are communities for people in different businesses, how to sort out all the issues that they go through. You'll just find that this information can make life a whole lot easier for you and can just help you ride faster. The very last thing I want to talk about today, if you're coming to the UK, if you're new in the UK or if you're in the UK as an immigrant, is you can save flexing for later. When I say flexing, I mean your lifestyle, right? The mistake a lot of people make in the UK is they want to show people back home that, yes, I'm in the UK. And to me, it's not a wise way to live, right? Because you live above your means, basically, because you're trying to prove to people that are not where you are, that you are somewhere that you're not. Back home, where I'm coming from, sometimes we say that there are people that are destiny helpers, right? Basically, what that means is that there are people that are on your path in life as you walk through life, that have different maybe advice, experience, or things to just help your journey in life. And some people will say the way you present yourself can make your destiny helper see you and feel like you are even above them. Meanwhile, you're not. Living above your means refusing to listen to advice, refusing to seek out other people's opinion, wanting to have the latest iPhone or the latest Samsung phone, wanting to buy all the expensive shoes, the most expensive hair, and traveling, going to Spain in your first 6 months in the UK. If you cannot afford it, please don't put yourself Don't use your credit card. Don't set up a repayment plan. You see that you have stayed in the UK 2 years and you cannot really account for anything. You don't have savings, you don't have an emergency fund, you don't have any serious savings because you are seeking to oppress. That's the word we use back home. You're seeking to oppress people that don't even care because that's the truth. They don't care. So look at the future that you want to have and work towards that future. Build and save towards that future. And yeah, stop oppressing people. It's adding nothing to your life. Absolutely nothing. If you fall tomorrow, everybody will say, oh, well, he looks like he was fine. Nobody knew you didn't get help. The day you come and say, oh, I need this and this and this, everybody will say, but you're traveling to Spain. You're traveling to you just went to Rome the other day. You just went to the US the last time. Oh, I thought you were in South Korea, things like that. So please, if you can afford it, travel. If you cannot afford it, if you know that the money you're spending to enjoy life is more than 30% of your income or 20% of your income, I think you need to rethink, right? You need to sit down, draw up a budget, and decide the things that are important to you. Before I go, the very last thing that I want to talk about on this matter still is that some people would even, that I've noticed is, some people would even not pay towards their pension because they feel they have no money, but they have lots of extra payments that are making for different things. And sometimes I think about it because your pension is your future, right? You're saving towards your future, and the amount you save in the UK determines to a percentage the amount that your employer saves for you as well. So you put percentage and they match that percentage to a particular point. So if you're not paying any money, they're not paying any money, you've got no pension till whatever point in life that you decide to start paying. And you can just start living like that till before you discover you're 30 or 50. I met someone that had to retire, only saved or got pension for 11 years before he retired. And the conversation I had with this person was geared more towards regret, because the person had to retire, not because the person wanted to. The person wanted to keep working but couldn't because their health couldn't allow, and discovered that, of course, they started paying a pension really, really late. They didn't have so much to fall back on, and they were now wondering, should I go back home? If you have good health, you see some people keep working till they're very old and grey, not because they want to, but because they need that regular income, because they don't have enough money in their pension. Those are the things that I feel you should look at. If you're a father, a mother, you have to look at things like life insurance. Yeah, this is just me, right? If I'm here for the next 20, 30 years and something happens and I want to be buried maybe back home, to take thousands of pounds for you to transport somebody back home to bury the person. Not a fun thing to think about, but something to still think about. When I came to the UK, I discovered people in their 20s, 30s already have all of these plans set out already, whereas people in their 30s and 40s coming from the part of the world that I'm coming from don't have any plan. So things happen and they are stranded. The one that really, 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 really gets me is emergency fund, because you cannot predict. You cannot predict what will happen in life. You cannot predict when you need to apply for a new visa. You cannot predict when something will happen back home. You cannot predict when you need to pay something. That's the end of today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I'll see you next week with something hot, fresh, and very interesting. Bye-bye.